A few years ago, convenience felt like a bonus. Faster shipping, easier checkout, smoother apps. These were things companies added to stand out. They made life easier, but they weren't the main reason you bought something. Today, that's no longer true. Convenience has moved from being a feature to becoming the product itself. And more importantly, it's starting to feel like something you have to pay extra for. Almost like a luxury. At first, that doesn't sound right. Convenience is supposed to make things easier for everyone. It's supposed to spread, improve access, and reduce effort across the board. So how does something designed to simplify life start to feel exclusive? The answer lies in how businesses have started to design, package, and price convenience. To understand this shift, you have to start with one simple idea. Convenience is incredibly valuable, not just helpful, valuable. Because in today's world, time is limited, attention is limited, and people are managing more than ever before. Work, communication, finances, entertainment, everything is happening at the same time across multiple platforms. So anything that reduces effort, saves time, or removes friction becomes extremely attractive. And businesses understand this very clearly. They are no longer just selling products, they are selling time-saving experiences. Think about how this shows up. Same-day delivery instead of waiting days, one-click checkout instead of filling out forms, automatic services instead of doing things manually, pre-built solutions instead of figuring things out yourself. All of these are forms of convenience, and they don't just improve the product, they change how you interact with it. They remove steps, they reduce decisions, they make things feel effortless. And when something feels effortless, people are willing to pay more for it. That's the first major shift. Convenience is no longer just helpful, it's something people value enough to pay a premium for. But there's another layer to this. Convenience is expensive to build. What looks simple on the surface often requires complex systems behind the scenes. Fast delivery requires logistics networks. Seamless apps require constant updates and engineering. Integrated services require coordination across multiple systems. Nothing about convenience is actually simple, it's engineered. And engineering that level of ease takes time, money, and infrastructure, so businesses have to recover that cost. Which means convenience doesn't stay free, it gets priced into the experience. But here's where the shift becomes more noticeable. Not all convenience is offered equally. Basic access might be available to everyone, but the highest level of convenience, the fastest, smoothest, most effortless version, is often placed behind a paywall. Priority delivery, premium memberships, ad-free experiences, faster service tiers. These are all examples of convenience being segmented. You can still use the product, but if you want it to be easier, faster, or smoother, you pay more. And that's what makes it feel like a luxury. Because convenience is no longer evenly distributed, it's tiered. The more you pay, the less effort you deal with. The less you pay, the more friction you experience. And that creates a subtle but important shift. Access is no longer the only thing that matters. Ease becomes the differentiator. Two people can use the same service, but have completely different experiences based on what they're paying. One gets speed, simplicity, and priority. The other deals with delays, ads, or extra steps. And over time, that gap becomes more noticeable. But there's another reason this shift is happening. Expectations are rising. As people experience higher levels of convenience, their standards change. What used to feel fast now feels slow. What used to feel easy now feels frustrating. So businesses are constantly trying to improve convenience to meet those expectations. But improving convenience usually means increasing cost, better infrastructure, better technology, better systems. And those improvements are rarely absorbed completely by the company. They get passed on. Which means the best version of convenience keeps moving further into premium territory. There's also a psychological layer to this. Convenience doesn't just save time, it changes how things feel, it reduces stress, it removes uncertainty, it simplifies decisions, and that creates a sense of control. When something is easy, you don't think about it, you just use it. And that feeling is powerful, because once you get used to it, it's hard to go back. Imagine going from one-click checkout back to manual forms, or from instant delivery back to waiting days. it feels like a downgrade, even if the product itself hasn't changed. So people keep paying, not just for the product, but to maintain that level of ease. And that's where convenience becomes sticky. It becomes something you don't want to lose, which makes it easier for businesses to charge for it. Another important factor is subscriptions. Many companies are bundling convenience into monthly payments. Instead of charging per feature, they offer a package. Faster service, better access, fewer limitations, all included in one plan. At first, this feels like value, but over time, it turns convenience into something you pay for continuously, not once, but every month. And once you're used to that level of convenience, canceling feels like losing something, so you stay. And that creates a new kind of dependency, not on the product itself, but on the ease it provides. There's also a strategic reason businesses are doing this. Convenience is a powerful differentiator. In markets where products are similar, the easiest one to use often wins. Not the cheapest, not the most advanced, but the one that removes the most friction. So companies are investing heavily in making their products easier, but instead of giving all that convenience away for free, they're structuring it. Basic experience for everyone, premium experience for paying customers. And that structure allows them to increase revenue while still offering access, but it also changes how markets feel. Because instead of competing only on product quality, companies are competing on ease. And ease becomes something that can be upgraded, purchased, optimized. Which brings us back to the original question, are businesses turning convenience into a luxury? In many ways, yes, not by removing convenience entirely, but by making the best version of it something you have to pay more for. And as this trend continues, the difference between basic and premium experiences becomes more defined. One is functional, the other is effortless. And increasingly, effortless comes at a cost. So when you look at the bigger picture, the shift becomes clear. You're not just paying for what you buy, you're paying for how easy it is to use, how fast it arrives, how little effort it requires. And the less effort you want, the more it tends to cost. Because in the modern economy, convenience is no longer just an upgrade. It's a product, it's a strategy, and more, it's becoming a luxury.